The Incas considered themselves children of the sun. They thought of gold, the stuff that the conquistadors wanted so badly, as the sweat of the sun. But according to author Don Richardson, something happened to Pachakuti that made him give up the worship of his solar deity. The more he thought about Inti, the sun god, the more he realized that Inti wasn't really much of a god. The smallest cloud could block his light, and he seemed to be condemned to live on a permanent schedule, never really intervening in the affairs of the Inca people. So we began to dig back into the history of the people who lived here in South America even before the foundation of the Inca Empire, and discovered something amazing. Once upon a time, they had all worshipped one god, a creator they called Wiraqocha. It occurs to him that he was worshipping a mere creation and had missed the whole point. There was a creator who made the sun, and that's who we ought to be worshipping. That led to a meeting of minds across the Inca Empire. Priests of the pagan sun temples protested, insisting that they couldn't go and tell the common people that they'd been wrong. They'd look like fools. From what we can gather from the handful of records compiled by a Spanish priest named Cristobal de Molina, the great Inca religious council settled upon a compromise. The upper classes would begin to worship the creator god, and the common people would go on worshipping the pagan sun god. And of course, when Pizarro and his men arrived, along with their thirst for conquest and gold, the upper classes were pretty much decimated. But imagine, there was a whole civilization up here that had already rediscovered, to some extent, the great creator God, the God of the Bible, before European Christians made it over here.
The Incas, they used to believe in the principle. They used to have a principal god, okay, which one was called Wiraqocha Teximuyu Pachayachachi, which is difficult to translate. It's only Quechua name, okay. This god might be the principal or the first one, but they used to believe in the mounts. When they used to believe in the mounts, they believed that they were close to the principal god. Believing in the mountains, in the rivers, in the sun. You know why? Because those elements are very near to the sky, you know, and the principal god, as we know, so it's probably in the sky, you know, which is Wiraqocha Teximuyu Pachayachachi, the name of the principal god. This god, okay, at the end, you know, they used to believe, for example, many different cultures, they used to believe in a principal god with the different names, you know, but at the end, this god is the same god we believe nowadays as well, the Dios or the Jesus, you know, the Jesucristo or that, but maybe only with different names. They believe it as well, that there was somebody or some important God who made it all this world, who made it all this, who created all these mountains and rivers, animals, birds, you know. They believe it in someone important, and which was called, the name that is told, Wiraqocha Teximuyu Pachayachachi.
It's a pretty stunning story, but not entirely surprising. When Paul and Barnabas went to the city of Lystra, Paul made a statement that I know to be true from experience. He said in Acts 17 that God, in bygone generations, allowed all nations to walk in their own ways. Nevertheless, He did not leave Himself without witness. And the more you travel the world, and the more you gather the stories of people groups and cultures from around the world, the more you can see it. God really hasn't left Himself without witness. He may allow us to try our own path, and He'll never insist on forcing us into His kingdom. But He always leaves enough evidence that we'll find Him if we really want to. And apparently, up here at 2,500 meters in the Andes, maybe the most amazing thing isn't the spectacular city left behind by an amazing people. Maybe the most amazing thing is how the heart of God was calling these incredible people who were essentially cut off from the rest of the world.